Hey everyone, and welcome to week 11 here on the Open Wheeler series here on LFM. This week we are at Road America. I've got 3 races lined up for you today, and honestly, it was just another one of those weeks where it just felt like good racing came at a premium, and honestly, it's kind of hard to describe, but starting off with this first race here, I end up qualifying on pole, but Daniel here, very fast driver who really good at this track. Even though I haven't seen him anywhere, he's really good at this track, and he's gonna be like the main guy to go up against in all of these races. But yeah, I just don't like these sorts of tracks. Honestly, it's kind of boring, in all honesty, because you're just on the throttle like 80% of the time, and from a setup standpoint, it's kind of just a game of how low a bump stop range you can run on all 4 corners, and how low wings you can run without, while still gripping the surface, you know? Gripping the racing surface. And yeah, like when it's nice and crowded up at the front, like that's it's great. Like when the racing's close, it's pretty nice. Except not all the time, as you'll see in the future. But yeah, these 2 drivers here, who are pretty good in all 3 of the races that I partook in, they were just class of the fields, honestly. And another thing that I kind of just suffered with is, especially in this first race, I'd say only in this first race, because I believe this is the only time I ever did it, is I decided to run the mediums. And somehow got past that guy, and they ended up scrapping for 3rd place behind me, but cutting to a little bit further into the race, and I dipped the tire in the gravel and just
Fuck me.
throw it all away, and I was just not happy with that. Still though, I did manage to hold on to P3 for what that's worth, and I just decided to carry on into the next race to see if I could get a little bit of a better result. And next race is actually a lot of higher elo drivers, including Lucas here. Very fast driver, and I believe he's 4th in the championship last I checked. But needless to say, he's just a very fast all-around driver. And yeah, I had a very bad qualifying. It was P2 at the moment, but Daniel and Mut from last race were able to improve on their times, and I get a horrible start here. The car just didn't want to just bog down. It just bogged down. And heading into turn 1 here, we're 3 wide. I hold my line the best I can. I try to back out of it, and the car in the middle just ping-pongs off of both of us, and that just sends me off. And yeah, I, once again, not happy. And really just reinforcing how I just disliked this these kinds of tracks and the kind of racing that it can produce sometimes. And yeah, you're just gonna be seeing a montage of me trying to work my way back up and barely avoiding that guy. But yeah, so it's even though I did get pushed off, I do kind of like working my way back through the field. And I just being silent here, I guess, and goodbye. I think I just drive better when I'm pissed. Call me, I guess that's one thing that me and Tony Stewart have common. But yeah, essentially just working my way from, I believe it was P15 I was down in, but just trying to work my way back up. Not necessarily, and yeah, once again, oh yeah, something else I should mention is that I decided to switch over to the hard tires, because it just felt like the mediums were just dying at the end of the stint, at the end of the race, that I just needed to swap over the hards, so that way I wasn't getting all that slippage. So we've cracked the top 10 now, and we are rapidly closing in on P9 and what is now P8, because the car in P8 just speared off at T1. I'm guessing he clipped the grass as well. Getting a great exit coming out of turn 3. Or as any normal person would call it, turn 2. Seriously, I'm gonna put up an image here. Why is that considered turn 2? It is such a non-corner. Like, it's just ridiculous. Anyways, getting off track here. So, get the move done for P8. Moving forward to the next lap, I believe this is, P7 just spins around. I'm guessing he locked his rears or something. And, once again, eyes forward to P6 here, and gets a very bad exit out of the final corner. I decide to take advantage. He decides to go to the inside for whatever reason. I guess he wanted to try breaking the toe, but he comes back up into my slipstream and is just kind of sitting there. And you're gonna see why I'm hanging on this clip right here. So heading into turn 1, he thinks about a move, doesn't go for it. Front does not want to rotate through turn 1, but I make it work. Bit of a weave, but I get back on the racing line and...
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I looked at the replay and almost looked like he went full throttle into the back of me, but he did put on the brakes at the very, very, very last moment and just trying to rejoin safely. But he messaged me after the race saying, I wasn't expecting you to brake so early, when that's my normal braking zone. And he gets net-coated so hard here, and yeah, everybody's all over the place.
Beset on all sides by idiots.
Yeah. I was just pissed. But, yeah, bro probably had those F1 brakes on if he was braking, like, later than that. And yeah, after, I believe he gets terminal damage, he sends me this message.
Don't matter what you say, I'm reporting that, dude.
And yeah, I'm trying to apologize before he left, and he did send me a message afterwards, but stuff like that's just... In the moment, you just don't excuse that. And double spin coming through Canada corner there. At least I managed to get back up to recover the positions that I lost from being shunted off, but yeah, I was just mad. Like, it just felt like... and not to mention, too, I believe that was the same driver who was stuck it up the middle going into turn 1 and just ping-ponged off of me and the car on the inside. So... yeah. Needless to say, I did file a protest, and I did have a very nice battle with Yaroslav here for P6 here. I end up getting a very bad run to the final corner. He gets alongside me. He's pulling on me. But I think he just ran out of gear. And I somehow got him.
Oh, got him! Alright.
And, I mean, terrible first 90% of the race aside. Well, 95% I should say.
That was a good finish.
Yeah, that was a good finish, because you just silver lining in very, very bad race. But after the race, Lucas actually ended up sharing his setup, and I saw immediate improvement. Like, I went from my PB, you can see in the record there, 2047. I believe before I used a setup, it was like a 205.3 or 4. I can't remember. But, needless to say, just goes to show you. Just low bump stops, low wings. That's pretty much just the meta for these kinds of tracks. and you just gotta make do with what you can. And another thing he did, 80% diff. I guess you can just go into the setup INI and just adjust the numbers in a way that you can't normally select in-game, which it's weird. Like, it's just such a weird quirk of this game. This 10-year-old game. Or is it 12? I can't remember. But needless to say, this is my best in-session qualifying thing playing, and yeah, just a little bit of a wiggle coming out of Canada corner here, and I believe this was a 205.8, I think. I can't remember, but yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a 205.8. But needless to say, immediate improvement, and there were a few things on there that I didn't quite agree with my driving style, so I did end up tweaking those. And out of that, I just ended up getting like one killer race setup. And you're just gonna see that with this final race that I have lined up here. So, full lights on the grid. And for once, I actually don't get a horrendous start, but neither does Daniel on my outside, so it's just going to be a drag race to see who can get to a T1 first. And get pretty close here, 2x2, but we make it work. I leave him space on the outside going through 2 and 3, but I do file in front of him 4-3. Try and get the best run I can through here. Someone goes off into the gravel in the background, and from here, he does eye up a move going into this. I believe this is turn 5 here, but he thinks twice of it at the last second, and he kind of has to take a narrow line because of it. But now he's starting to feel the pressure from Andres behind. And I think that just the three of us just ended up pulling away within like the first lap. And coming to the second lap now, and you're going to see in the rear view, he just takes way too much curb, and I think he actually bottomed out on the curb. So, and that ended up affording me a little bit of time, not to mention Andres also getting in there. But cutting to later on in the race, and he did a 205.9, and that just
seems legit.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. But believe it or not, though, even though he set that absolute scorcher of a lap, and he was slowly reeling me in over the course of the race. Like, he just kind of hovered between, like, right under a second for most of it. But he did have, like, a few minor mistakes that put him back to 1.5, but he just immediately got it back. But cutting to, I believe this is the final lap, and I think it's hard to say what happened to him, but I'd have to go back in the replay, but it just looks like that he just took a curb wrong and the back end just unlatched. But from there, I was just able to cruise, and I did try to get past the
fastest lap, though. Damn.
But missing out by 0.3.
I'll take the win. Fuck power tracks.
And yeah, needless to say, I was done for the week. But yeah, and it looks like it's just gonna. Things are just going to wrap up like that going into next week at the Red Bull Ring. So, yeah. If you do enjoy these kinds of just me yapping about stuff, feel free to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more. But, yeah, I'm not expecting to win this championship at all. I think I'm like P6, though. But it was still good fun, though. For up until, like, the power track half or quarter of the schedule. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.